Welcome to the Innovating Justice Accelerator. This video will guide you through our application form. For information on our selection criteria, make sure to see our other video, which talks a bit more about the evaluation process and things to know before applying. Here we see the homepage on innovatingjustice.com. Click Apply here to start. Make sure to read through this page before you go to the application form, so you know what types of initiatives we're looking for. The application for the Call for Talent is pretty straightforward, so let's look together at the Call for Innovations application. This application is very short and contains only 5 major questions, along with some basic information about your innovation. The first part of this form is just to get to know you. Fill in your name, email, and the name of your project. A URL for your initiative. If one of these pain points describes what you're working on, please select whichever one is relevant. Also let us know how far your project has progressed, its legal status, and your country. Please also be specific when you tell us how you heard about the Innovating Justice Challenge. I do want to draw your attention to one question in the first part, which is to describe your startup in less than 150 characters. Now this is a tough one. We even found it tough to do this for the accelerator. But make sure you take your time here and work with your team to come up with a 1-sentence summary of what your idea or innovation hopes to achieve. This is important not just for this application, but to be able to tell anyone you walk up to on the street what it is that you do. Okay, now we get to the 5 questions. Before we start, I'll remind you to check out our evaluation criteria by going back to innovatingjustice.com and watching the other video, which explains how we evaluate innovation. The best way to pitch a startup is by starting with the problem. Tell us what's going wrong, who's hurting. Don't use this space to tell us about your startup. Instead, focus on what's happening in your community. If you make the problem compelling, then it'll make us really want to hear about your solution. So then tell us how you plan to solve the problem. Be specific here. What do you plan to create, provide, or do that directly addresses this problem? This is the place to tell us about any product you're creating, but we encourage you to tell us mostly about traction with users. Tell us about how many people are using this solution. This helps us to understand that it's successful. Next, tell us about your team. List briefly your team members, roles, and their area of expertise. We also appreciate when people emphasize how engaged each team member is with the project. For instance, if they're all full-time, part-time, or a consultant. Make sure to tell us as well why you think your team is the right team to make this solution work. Finally, tell us about the business model. We understand that not all justice innovations want to make a profit, that's okay. But all justice innovations must be able to financially sustain themselves somehow, beyond only the support that Hill provides. So, tell us how you think you can convince someone to pay you to provide the service you want to provide, and who this person is. That's all for the application form. Just hit submit, and we'll be back to you by July 15th with the next steps. Good luck!